Hello, welcome to the Snap UK. We're back.
Yeah, we haven't been taken off the air, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mean
they can't hold us back.
Yeah. The NFL aren't refusing to pay us and kicking us out?
No, but Gary is on another podcast right now called The Snap Daily. You may have seen it in your feed. In fact, before we start, should we start with... So, yeah, around the NFL is now the NFL Daily, minus two other hosts. And I think that's really... How they've been treated is really, really shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously we don't know everything
No.
that there is to know, but it appears that in the cost-saving, the somewhat unnecessary cost-saving measures the NFL have taken.
The NFL got a bit of a fine to pay.
Well, yes, there is that. They have basically cut the most successful podcast show that they had, especially amongst international listeners.
I was going to say, it's the international angle which really bewilders me, because it's it's certainly how I got more into the game.
Me too, absolutely.
A lot of other people. And when you think about the NFL's prime business objective probably is to grow internationally, that's a vehicle to do it with. So yeah, it just the whole thing seemed very. It seems odd that they've done it in the first place. How they've gone about it seemed very odd.
It seems very sort of blind to a long-term objective.
Yeah.
I mean, I said before we started this evening, I felt the show had somewhat run its course. It certainly changed for me after Chris Wessling died. Yeah. I really enjoyed his input, but I still listened. Moving the show on is not the issue. It's how it's been done. There's no goodbye. Yeah. Literally, people were like, "Why is this not coming up in my feed anymore? What's going on?"
When we said it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Hang on, we've not had an episode around the NFL for a couple of weeks. What's going on there?
It had never been away for more than 5 days since it started in 2013.
Yeah, it's mad.
Like,
it's the fact that Greg is still there. I think Greg's had some personal issues over the thing, whatever else, he's still there. But they're still recording from the Chris Wessling podcast studio. And you're like...
It just feels awkward.
It feels really awkward. And
it's forced.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that they would probably like him to have walked away and they could have done their own project. He has opted to stay. He was always higher up the chain than them. And so he's obviously been saved from whatever axe was falling.
Yeah.
But it's a shame for something that has been, was it 11 years?
Yeah.
For that to just disappear. And even before that, it existed in a different form. They just weren't all necessarily together. But 11 years.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favour. Go back. You can still find the 2013 original on there. And I quite enjoy the old ones. It was very good.
Yeah.
You were listening all the way through. Right?
I have actually listened.
I was going to say, when you went back.
I went back and started and listened all the way through because I have lots of time at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I quite enjoy that. And you get lots of Ryan Fitzpatrick updates, which is my favourite.
That's what you live for.
It was in the day what I lived for. Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's not what you live for now, because it'd be not much to live by.
No, slim pickings.
He's a fine pundit.
Oh, he's brilliant. But yeah. But yes. Anyway, we're back. There isn't much news today, but quite frankly, I'm really bored, and it's just nice to be around a table with my mates again.
We're literally saying, now that the Euros are finished, there is no sport on TV.
We're waiting for the Olympics as something to watch. Admittedly, my football team are a bit shitter than everyone. Oh no, we're all championship boys.
Championship teams now, mate.
24 days to the season, lads.
Is that all it is?
24 days, mate.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just over a month for the Premier League, but
who watches that anyway?
And then as of Sunday, 7 Sundays until the start of the season. Yep. It will be here. The
fantasy drafts are coming up.
Oh yeah.
Griff loves this time of year.
Yeah, I struggle with it because it's not important. I do struggle with. I did well last year, didn't I? Or was it the year before? I can't remember.
No, it was definitely last year. You did well.
I did all right. I can't get excited about it just yet. But it feels like it's been a quiet off season. Did nobody else get that feeling, or am I just not paying enough attention?
There was.
I think it has.
There was a flood of activity on the opening of the legal tampering period. And then it's been nothing. It really has. I guess because about now, you'd start I guess Hard Knocks would be starting.
Yeah.
Normal Hard Knocks would be starting, and that'd give you something to look forward to.
Start to get into training camps now. Very soon.
But
so then you'll start getting injuries.
So hang on, why is Hard Knocks not starting?
It's already been on. It's already because
they did a pre-season.
Oh, did they? Oh,
So
I did not watch that.
it's the Giants. Going up there,
through free agency.
Free agency in the draft.
I've seen the clips of that. I didn't realize that was Hard Knocks. I just kept seeing excerpts from it.
So
when you were losing Saquon,
yeah,
and your owner was going, "Oh, that'd be terrible if he went to the Eagles."
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Just part with some more money, Mr. Mara, and you'll be fine.
It would be good, but yeah.
Man, your season and my season are going to suck this year, John.
They are.
We're going to be so bad.
But it's fine. We can enjoy the misery together and then laugh when the Chiefs beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
You get to enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there is that. You will have things to talk about, but I have a question before we start. I keep seeing everywhere that most pundits, the people that we look to for our opinions and news, seem to think Aaron Rodgers is going to be amazing this season.
I've heard this.
Why?
I don't know.
He's
I don't know.
94-year-old man on a recovery from a broken leg that he didn't necessarily, not broken leg, sorry, a broken ACL.
Torn Achilles.
A torn Achilles that he didn't necessarily take the proven medical route with. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't work, but what is to stop him going out there for the first snap of the season, keeling over in a heap and being done again?
And let's be fair, the Jets have improved the offensive line.
Yep.
But it's still an improved offensive line. We don't know it's all going to work.
It's still the Jets.
And it is still the Jets. And then you've got the added thing about him not going to the mandatory camps a couple of weeks back, and he was suddenly there's a whole thing about him suddenly.
Well, it
was very last minute that he didn't show up.
Yeah,
because Robert Saleh didn't know about it.
Yeah,
when he did that press conference, going, "Yeah, no, he's not here."
Wasn't it to do something to do with, was it RFK or something? He was Bob F. Kennedy.
He's meant to be like his vice president.
Yeah,
pick.
He wants. Yeah.
Robert Kennedy's been dead for 60 years.
Well, RFK Jr., the one who's got a brain worm.
Actually,
he's got a worm in his brain.
No, we're not kidding.
We're not kidding. Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
So,
hang on. Did he shoot Donald Trump?
No.
Okay, then I don't care.
No. Literally, he
RFK Jr., who's standing as an independent,
right,
actually has a brain worm.
What's a brain worm?
A worm in your brain.
How did he get a worm in his brain?
Well, he also eats dog. So he's.
And you thought Donald Trump was the weird candidate.
Literally, one of the guys is so old he can't remember where he is. Another one is a year younger and got shot, and the other bloke has a brain worm and eats dogs. And people have been.
How are these the best three people
exactly.
in America?
I feel like we can't moan about Kish Dharma too much at the moment because
he's normal.
He's slightly the last I heard, there is no evidence of Kish Dharma ever eating a dog because he's a vegetarian.
We don't really tackle politics on here, and I'd like it to say that way.
Reason.
No, I'm down with it. Does anyone else look at Keir Starmer and be reminded of the very grey years of John Major? No. What a boring man. He's so boring.
I'm happy with boring as long as he's not.
After the last 14 years.
Sure.
Good with boring.
I was just looking at what the Jets' first game is because, it's the 49ers. His first game is Nick Bosa running at him.
This is what I mean. Well done bringing it back to track there, John. Why are we just expecting him to be any good?
Because
on what evidence?
Because they've got TV shows to sell. And because it's Rodgers, they're getting a load of primetime games.
I was going to say, if they release the primetime games, I presume the Jets are going to be in a lot of them just because of Aaron Rodgers. I think John's right. I think there is an element of they've got to build it up because it's obviously kind of a big return. I haven't looked at the odds, but I bet he's odds on for comeback player of the year already.
I believe he's fairly near the top of odds for actual player of the season. Offensive player of the year.
Let's not forget, we've only seen him with 5 snaps in a Jets uniform.
Yeah.
So there's that excitement still about seeing Rodgers on a new team. I think generally the Jets have got some interesting pieces about them as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I do agree. The offensive line would still concern me, and his physical ability after a year out, when he's not the youngest of quarterbacks. Yes, immensely talented. Not going to deny that. But
theoretically, he's still the best quarterback you can put on a field. Theoretically.
Yeah, but in the same way that Ronaldo's the best forward you can put on a pitch.
That's exactly where I was going with that.
I still disagree with that at the moment. I'd still take a number of quarterbacks over him.
As would I, but not necessarily just on talent, but on, physicality as well.
Just on talent.
I mean, on talent, I think as well. Like he's not been good. Like
cautious
for 4 years.
He doesn't pull the trigger anymore. He doesn't want to throw interceptions. And
so
all of these, you're just building to prove my point, which is I don't get it. I think they could have been decent last year. I think they'd have easily made the playoffs with him there.
Yeah,
but I would be less optimistic for them this year.
I'd agree.
The only thing in their favour is I don't think the Bills will be that good.
No.
I don't think they'll be as good as they have been. That window is closing, man.
I completely agree. And their receiver core took a
massive hit.
If the Dolphins don't walk away with that division this year.
Well, the Dolphins will walk away until November when they'll fall into a pit and become shit again, because that's what they do. Every year. Every year? 2 years.
So what you're saying is there's hope for the Patriots?
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, new regime. You never know. I mean, look what happened.
We're starting
but look what happened to the Texans. No one would have predicted the Texans being as good as they were last
year. Are you suggesting Drake May can be that good?
Everyone was saying, no one was saying CJ Stroud was going to be as good as he was.
No.
So you don't know until he steps onto the field and we start seeing proper football. No one does.
Would you like to know the lineup for Comeback Player of the Year?
Go on.
So at number 1 is Aaron Rodgers. 2, Joe Burrow. 3, Kirk O'Chains. Anthony Richardson just behind him. Russell Wilson.
Is there a non-quarterback on this list?
The first non-quarterback, Nick Chubb, who I'd love to see back again, because literally from that injury as well, that was so awful. But unfortunately, if he's good, then that means the Browns are good, because the next person is Deshaun Watson on Comeback Player of the Year.
I will put money right here, right now, if anybody's betting on Deshaun Watson not starting more than 9 games for the Browns this year. The over-under is 9.5, because he will either be crap, injured, or dropped for a different reason. Some sort of problem. I don't
quarterback.
Well, I don't know who the backup quarterback is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Jameis Winston.
Get in, Jameis.
I forgot.
I'll take it because I want to see it. He will start less than 9.
You'll take me.
I'll take 1 million.
And then they got Tyler Huntley behind him.
I mean, there's a genuine chance you see Tyler Huntley. I don't think it's going to work at Cleveland for Deshaun Watson. I don't think the management really want to have to stick with him.
Oh, but I think they got rid of Joe Flacco because he was too popular, effectively.
Yes.
That's
exactly.
But then you bring in Jameis Winston, who is, admittedly, for all his faults as a quarterback,
people like him.
He's a really, I love watching him talk. He's
he's a clown, but he's fun.
Yeah. A very charismatic
pretty
man.
Non-offensive with it. You can't. I don't think you can not like. You can't not like Jameis Winston.
I saw him fishing this year, interviewing the fish he caught, and you're like, this is not a man.
See, Jameis Winston is personable and has stood up and owned up to his past mistakes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Deshaun Watson is neither of those things.
I mean, completely. I completely agree.
Joe Flacco was basically gotten rid of because he was putting the quarterbacks there to shame.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm.
What we're learning here is how quickly can a child scamper through a kitchen and look in some
decide
drawers.
what she should be having at 9:15 at night when she should be in bed.
She's got nothing to add.
What do you think about Aaron Rodgers? You don't know.
No opinion on Aaron.
Yeah, same as us, mate. Yeah. Same as us. So, should we start with the sad news? Because Jacoby Jones died, age 40.
One of the greatest moments in Super Bowl history.
Debatable.
I mean...
No, it really was.
The non-bitter amongst us consider it...
it's one of the all-time Super Bowl moments.
Yeah.
Is it still the longest touchdown in a Super Bowl?
I think it's the joint. I think they took a yard off him during... Because I think it was 109 and it became 108. But not just that. Remember... he also scored a touchdown when he got the ball tripped over, still had the time to stand up and beat 4 men before he got in the end zone. Like, the guy was electric.
It was playing against Denver, though, wasn't it?
No, that was against you in the Super Bowl.
It was,
But yeah, he had the Mile High Miracle against.
Oh, that was against Denver.
That was against Denver, where he on a third and 30, he scored a 70-yard touchdown with 40 seconds to go to take it to overtime.
What an amazing player!
Yeah,
So I haven't seen what has happened. I've just seen that it's happened.
Died in his sleep. That's all.
That is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is, but
I'm having a snooze later. Just saying.
Well, yeah, but no,
He was only the same age as us.
he is. That's a little bit.
speak for yourself.
But no, like as well. That's like, I think that's the first Super Bowl I watched with mates.
Did we not watch it at mine?
You watched it at yours, and
Way back when.
And that was the year that
I've moved 4 times since then, at least.
Well, it's the year we played touch football down the park with
that-
Duncan, and he absolutely destroyed me.
It was the first time anyone had ever put a proper block on you.
Yeah, but it was so like it was a proper like
Yeah, it was a
like
moment.
founding moment for my NFL fandom, because it was something I'd enjoyed on my own until then, and suddenly like, well, we started watching it with mates. So yeah, no, really, really sad. And carrying on the sad news, Khyree Jackson, the
Really sad.
Viking quarterback, rookie, killed in a car crash at the age of 24. He was travelling in a Dodge Charger with 2 friends and was shunted off by someone who, according to police, was possibly drunk driving. They hit another car and basically were flipped off the road into trees. So
Won't do you any good.
no. But if one of your teammates has been involved in a horrendous car accident, probably shouldn't get involved with driving under influence, such as Jordan Addison's done, which is really fucking stupid.
Yeah, this
Like,
is the
second-
time of year where they do stupid stuff.
But it's the second time he's done this, because in his rookie year, he got caught driving 140 miles an hour in a 50 miles an hour zone.
Because that always ends well.
So I think he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's a very, very talented player, but he's an idiot.
And that's going to be the downfall, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
like he's competing, obviously, with Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jefferson. Not Van Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
It's been a while.
I'm amazed that you've remembered Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson apparently slipped my mind.
Yeah.
Because they're right there in quality.
Yeah. The highest paid non-quarterback in the league.
So he's never going to be number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
So he has to fight and scratch for every single pass he can try and catch. But also, coming up in it's going into the second year. In 2 years' time, when he looks to get a new contract, they're going to be like, well,
You are an idiot.
you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're a liability.
Yeah. So,
And we've got Justin Jefferson.
yeah. Exactly, yeah. Found asleep at the wheels of his white Rolls Royce. So, blend in.
What says NFL player like found asleep at the wheel of his Rolls Royce?
Yeah.
Possibly drunk.
Who was the footballer that was found asleep at some traffic lights? Was it McGrath?
Probably.
Was it Charles? It was the guy that was involved with Gaza.
It was the Aston Villa player?
Yeah, I can't remember. Is it Gary Charles?
Might have been Gary Charles.
It was the guy who Gaza broke his knee trying to foul in the FA Cup final.
Oh, yeah, that was Gary Charles.
Yeah, and he was found asleep at his thing, surrounded by torn up banknotes. It was like a proper, like, mental crisis.
Sounds like Gaza.
But yeah, elsewhere, the Chiefs continue having legal issues, effectively. Rasheed Rice follows his arrest for leaving the scene of a 6-car pileup by being arrested for assaulting a club, although the other person now doesn't want to press charges. So
Because the other person's been paid off.
yeah, but yeah, the police are still investigating it because he might have something to answer. Defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs has been arrested multiple times in Alabama this off-season, booked for domestic violence, burglary. Then he was done for 2 misdemeanor counts of second-degree animal cruelty. 2 dogs were found to be neglected and severely malnourished. So he's been released, and once again proving that maybe NFL players are just really fucking stupid.
Do you think there is? I heard a story, a conspiracy theory. The Chiefs like Rashee Rice, and they want to try and keep him. So they're saying to all their bit part players, could you just take some heat off of him by being absolutely fucking stupid?
Yeah.
And Isaiah Bugs has gone, yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Mate. Funny you say that.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty stupid. And they're like, how stupid? And he's like, well,
look what I've done.
Well, you know my domestic violence stuff. Not funny, I know. But I have just had to have a pit bull euthanized because I haven't fed it. You're like, okay, yeah, you're cool.
Because realistically, has anyone heard, and there's more, but has anyone heard of Isaiah Bugs before?
No.
No. Have you heard of Wanya Morris and Chukwuebuka Godric?
Well done.
Because they were both arrested last month on misdemeanor possessions of marijuana. So, yeah.
Now recite those names without looking at them.
Wanya Morris, Chukwuebuka Godric.
Bless you.
Do you think
I had to practice that on the car ride over.
Andy Reid's just sitting there and saying,
He's very fucking lonely.
Yeah.
It's just him and Patrick Mahomes.
all that Isaiah Bugs stuff didn't work. You guys, do something stupid.
Yeah. Travis, get run over by a car. Yeah. Elsewhere. Less
Saga.
Less sad, at least. Well, it depends. Less sad for us, but maybe for Jim. Brandon Aiyuk's requested a trade.
See, this isn't a surprise because there's too many mouths to feed and too many people to pay.
Yeah.
And it's always the downside to being a successful team.
Yep.
He thinks he's the star of the show. I'm not sure he is the star of the show. I think it could be the case of go to another team and he's more likely to be like the old, more likely to be a Danny Amendola than he is to go and be Tyreek Hill.
He's rejected a $26 million a year deal.
Are you mad?
Well, that's what I think. Because I completely agree with you. I question whether Brandon Aiyuk is generally a number 1 wide receiver, or is he just a wide receiver that's been made to look good in Kyle Shanahan's system, which makes offensive players look good. And I think that's probably where, if you're the 49ers hierarchy, but then also if you're any other team, those are probably the questions you're asking. It's like, okay, yes, you've got good yards. You've had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons. Well done, you. But he's asking for money not that far off of Justin Jefferson.
10 million off Justin Jefferson a year.
Who's your number 1 receiver in your opinion?
I don't think there is one though.
I think Purdy's guy is Aiyuk. He's the guy he goes to. Like Debo does a lot. Debo does stuff that only Debo does.
Yeah.
Kittle,
but then
you
look at the playoffs. The guy making some big catches in those playoffs, and probably the 49ers won the Super Bowl, would have been up there for MVP was Jennings.
Yeah. It is I don't know. We don't know how that 26 million was sold. Could have been not enough guaranteed.
John,
and
sell
stuff.
me £26 million as a guaranteed contract.
We don't know it was guaranteed.
Okay, sell me £26 million in a manner that makes me reject it.
Okay, Michael.
Yes.
I've got a contract here. It's got £26 million.
For me?
Yeah.
Thanks. What do I have to do?
Be there every week.
17 games.
17 games, yeah.
So 18
bit in
wins.
pre-season as well.
It's a bit pre-season. Plus, we're gonna. You're the linchpin of our attacking lineup.
So 30 weeks a year?
30 weeks a year. Yeah. Do you want to know the guarantee? Do you want to know the guarantee?
I don't drink, Jim.
Well, there you go.
Do you want the guarantee money?
I'd quite like the guarantee money, yeah.
Yeah, for 3 million.
Excuse me?
For 3 million.
3 million, you say?
3 million, I mean.
So you're guaranteeing to pay me $3 million
Yeah.
out of 26.
The rest is dependent on
Performance.
But
I think I'm one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah.
So I've got a good chance of
but
reaching some of these.
But
So you're coming at a logical angle.
But if you take the money,
Yeah.
I've got to give Carl Juszczyk a pay cut. And do you want to make Carl Juszczyk angry?
The weapon?
Yeah.
No.
No. But that's what you're doing. You're making Carl Juszczyk cry. You're making the Juice upset.
But I'm okay with
And
that.
do you know no one likes to upset the Juice.
Got upset.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I think you can see what I'm demonstrating is that it's quite difficult.
It's quite difficult.
If you'd have said, Mike, we've got a contract for £3 million, I'd have said, go
You're
on
then.
I'm your man.
Yeah, context means everything here.
A little bit.
But I guess in a world where the money that other receive, like he's probably getting less than Amon-Ra St. Brown. So in Aiyuk's mind, are you saying that I'm not as good as Amon-Ra St. Brown? Are you saying I'm not as good as Nico Collins, as DK? Like, also, it's because the money goes up every year. Yeah, I wouldn't turn it down myself, but there's a lot of silly money going out for receivers.
How do you accept the $26 million a year contract? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers in the league that would have been on more than him. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, and Justin Jefferson. $26 million a year would put you, and Cooper Kupp. So that would have put you just between Devonta Smith and Cooper Kupp.
And who are the next 3 down after that?
Nico Collins, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel.
And that's probably about where he belongs.
I think you've got to be you've got to be realistic about where you are in the pecking order of things. I don't think he's done the things that Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, even Amon-Ra St. Brown have done.
No.
I think he's a good receiver. I don't think he's a number 1 receiver.
Take the money, stay at the Niners, possibly win a Super Bowl.
Well, there's that as well.
You can go and be someone's number 1 wide receiver, but you may never have this career again.
Yeah.
That is, I don't mind it when players take the money as long as they're up front and they say, I'm taking the money, because every year that goes by, your chances of making money get less because you're older and you may never have a statistical season like the one you had, and injuries come into it and all the other things. I don't mind it at all. That's what we all go to work for. But you do have to understand where you are. He's currently at a team that most of the time just wins.
Yeah.
And you could go and get paid a lot of money to play wide receiver for the Patriots, and you're winning chuffle.
Well, that's the thing. So, 49ers hold all the cards here, don't they? Because they've got the contract.
They've also got a backup.
Yeah.
They drafted a wide receiver in the first round, so presumably they feel pretty good about that wide receiver. And they're like, all right, we've still got Deebo, we re-signed Jennings, we've got this new kid, still got Kittle, McCaffrey's there as well. I think we'll be all right in the passing game without you, Aiyuk.
Yeah. If he gets traded, like, that will probably come with a new contract.
Yeah.
But that is then putting your career in the hands of the 49ers, who aren't going to trade you to a team that is going, like, you might, like, he's...
You're going to end up on the Browns, the Patriots. Basically, you're going to be in the AFC because they don't want to see you in the NFC, and it's going to be someone who's not a contender.
Well, he wants to end up at the Commanders. That's where his mate is. He's mates with Daniels.
Yeah.
But
they're crap.
I mean, they suck.
Yeah. And also, like, he's going to end up in the same situation there because the number 1 is Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin, he is definitely better than
Brandon.
Brandon.
He's on $23.2 million.
So yeah, what he'll probably do is hold in. But yeah, the Niners don't usually do business until this point of the season anyway.
Yeah,
I don't fancy his chances.
But apparently they've not talked to him about contracts since May. So,
to your point, they always do that.
Does
they
he?
do it with Samuel. They do it with Bosa.
It sounds very similar to your situation, John, where your employer won't talk to you about your contract.
No.
But don't worry, you've got a job for at least another 2 months. So.
Exactly.
Just take the money, mate.
He would.
They need to offer it me first. Jeez.
Don't worry, you can apply again for your own job in September.
Yay.
So that's Network Rail for you there.
But
Might as well get a dig in at them. There's someone fucking listening.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Oh, it'll be nationalised soon. Don't worry.
yeah, it's fun. Well, yeah,
Job for life, mate.
yes. As long as I can stay there until then. But like some of the, we mentioned some of the guys on more money who have some Brown people like these guys have signed deals this year. Like the amount it's gone up. Jefferson was always going to get ridiculous money.
So go through those 6, 7 players again. Justin Jefferson's number 1, right?
Jefferson's number 1.
So Justin Jefferson is, with a very limited argument, the best receiver in the league.
Yep.
Yeah. Over 1,000 yards last year.
Who is number 2?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown's an amazing receiver.
Yes.
We are happy that he is at least in the top 3 or 4. Number 2 seems fine to me.
Yep.
It sort of goes with a power ranking.
Of course. Number 3.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Now, here's the thing. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you would say, longevity-wise, has not done as much as the other 2 above. However, his potential is amazing.
Yeah.
The Lions, for me, did the right thing by saying, he's our number 1. Goff loves playing with him. We are successful the first time ever, basically, but in several decades. We're keeping this guy. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Number 4.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill could not have done more since moving from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. He has been what Brandon Aiyuk wants to be when he moves.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Number 5.
Jalen Waddle.
Again.
Yeah.
You would struggle. Who thought that those 2 players could be on the same team and both produce the way they have? And this is why the Dolphins have to win everything this year. Number 6.
Devontae Adams.
Now, this is where it starts to fall apart for me, because I think Devontae Adams is on a massive downwards fucking slide, and it is going to go off a cliff this year.
I would say he's been playing with some terrible quarterbacks.
Tepid at best.
Yeah.
Have you watched the series?
Not yet, no.
I've only seen bits of it, but basically, it isn't a happy place, the Raiders, for him.
I've seen some of the headlines about him wanting Garoppolo out.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good look for him.
No.
But
Why would he want Garoppolo out?
shit.
Because he was awful.
Yeah, but the rest of them were crap as well.
This is also true.
Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell, come on now.
Yeah.
Yes, he grasped the playbook and they went 4-4 under him.
There's basically there's an image of he's free in the middle of the field. Garoppolo throws an absolutely uncatchable ball over his head.
Right.
And he goes to the side of the pitch and he goes, "Why am I here?
Emmanuel Sanders.
Why am I here?" And it's from that after that Garoppolo's dropped.
Okay.
But literally,
He's got pedigree though. When we're talking about Patty,
Yeah.
he has done it before.
He
He
is-
been the number 1 wide receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not all that long ago.
Sure. I just think that's the first one where you get to where I go, whoa, this guy's on a
that's
down.
fair. That's the first one you get to where you
Raiders
you
tax
make an
too.
argument.
Yeah, Raiders tax too. Yeah, that's it. While we're talking about the Raiders very briefly, Aiden O'Connell, the new Gardner Minshew. Anyone?
Isn't Gardner Minshew the new Gardner Minshew?
Well, I don't think he is. I think Aiden O'Connell is the new Gardner Minshew.
God.
He's going to be popular because of who he is, not what he does.
Well, that's good then.
Number 7 on the list.
can you have 2 Gardner Minshews in the same team?
You would love 2 Gardner Minshews.
I fucking would.
Cooper Kupp.
Not
a problem with
So
that.
I don't have a problem with it other than the injury thing. But if he was any higher up the list, I would start to be saying this is a risk. But where he is, I think is fine. And then we get to
Devontae Smith.
Devonta Smith. This is where you get into, I think, 8 players probably who you could say could be in any order in this particular sequence. So we don't need to go any further. I'm just saying, at no point here have any of us gone, oh man, Aiyuk should definitely be above that guy.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm just trying to demonstrate. I don't see how is his manager saying to him or his representative saying to him, yeah, here's the list, you need to be here.
Yeah.
How do you sell that to him? I don't get it.
I think I'd be showing the contract that Calvin Ridley got. I'd be saying you definitely earn much more than this because Calvin Ridley is on 23 million. So he's just below Devontae Smith, Nico Collins, DK Metcalf. And that to me is expensive.
I agree. Calvin Ridley is a lot of money. Is Calvin Ridley definitely a better or definitely a worse player than Brandon Aiyuk?
Well, we can only go on what he's done in the last 3 years. And in that 3 years, Brandon Aiyuk has been brilliant.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley has been either missing
Or a bit part player.
or a bit part player.
Yeah.
Admittedly, playing in a team that didn't use him. He was boom or bust, but mostly bust.
Here's one for you then. Because I know we stopped at Devontae Smith, but what, 1, 2, 3, 4 places down. Michael Pittman, $23 million a year.
That is the Colts tax. That's we
a
have to
tax.
have someone.
Yeah, that's a tax for not having a plan at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yes.
In that we're now paying a bang average.
A middle of the road number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
Now,
23
I
million a
have
year.
defended Michael Pittman more on this podcast than anyone else. I think on a better team, he would be able to raise his game.
Potentially,
But
I
the thing
agree.
is that their quarterback got injured very early. But Anthony Richardson is also not the sort of quarterback likely to pass you 1,500 yards
And
of ball.
even before that, he's had like Carson Wentz. Was he there for Phillip Rivers?
I think so.
Yeah.
But Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rivers.
Scraping the barrel.
I think he's been there since the
I think he's had
end of luck.
I'm
Like,
sure he's had at least 5 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, he must have.
Right.
He'd have had Jacoby.
And
He's
he
27 now, so
yeah.
let's say he's had 5-6 years.
Yeah, so I think he's had 5 different starting quarterbacks, and he's been he's produced something.
He's just, I mean, thinking
But
about
to
it
get
from-
him to stay,
thinking
but play.
thinking about it from a fantasy point of view, he's one of those players you pick thinking this is going to be his year. He's the number 1 receiver, and then you're like, oh, he's got 3 points again.
Yeah.
And it's like that every single week for him. Oh, hang on, no, wait, he scored a touchdown. And then the next week it's 3 points.
For Aiyuk as well, well, you've got people coming up this next off season who are going to be wanting contracts. DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Jamar Chase is looking for his big contract. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, these guys are eligible for
Jamar
that.
Chase will reset the wide receiver market. He'll go above Justin Jefferson.
T. Higgins is also going to hit the free agency because he's not signed his tag, has he?
I don't think he has.
Just to go back to what we were saying about Michael Pittman, Phillip Rivers 2020 was his starting
Oh
quarterback.
wow, I thought it was before that. So
Right, Phillip Rivers 2020, Jacoby Brissett 2020 was the starting quarterback. Carson Wentz 21, that went well. Do you remember those years?
That was a good trade.
Also in 2021, Jacob Eason.
Wow.
I mean,
God.
that is one step up from Jim throwing him the ball. That guy was fucking Matt
Before I got my back fixed.
Bad Matt Ryan.
Matt
Bad
Ryan
Matt Ryan.
was there for a year,
Oh,
but
you're a
not
bad
really.
Matt Ryan. Who followed Matt Ryan? It was another bad backup quarterback. In at number 6, Sam Erlinger.
Sam Erlinger, of course, yes.
That was bad. Followed by everyone's favourite backup. He's won a Super Bowl.
Nick Foles.
It's Big Dick
Oh,
Nick.
Big Dick, of course, yeah.
So bad, Big Dick Nick. This is not going well. And then Anthony Richardson
and Gardner.
Then
and Gardner Minshew.
What is that, 7, 8?
Like, you can tell me the guy's no good, but let's give him
There's
a
an
chance.
asterisk on that. He's no good.
The thing is, you can tell me he's no good, and you go, well, yeah, there's fine. You know, there's reasons why he's got 8. Then you just throw Mike Evans, who has been brilliant throughout, but
I'll throw now DeAndre Hopkins at the Texans.
yeah.
Yeah, and I get that, but these are amazing players. Evans and Hopkins are in a different league. No one's saying Pittman is that good.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, give me a reason that, like, why should he be producing on a regular basis when those are the quarterbacks he's had?
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
I know, but yeah, Mike Evans signed a new deal this year and got $20 million.
Yeah.
And he's younger than Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And people keep telling me, people go, oh, Mike Evans, you know, he's on the downturn.
Yeah, I don't think Mike Evans.
No.
He was never on the.
But he's
downturn.
still younger than Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen him gone to a genuine contender. I mean, maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can.
Mike Evans has won the Super Bowl.
He has.
He is a hero in Tampa.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have any problem with it. I think
I don't have any
if he'd have
problem with
pushed them, he
staying.
might have got more money.
Yeah,
but
don't
I
have any
think he
problem.
wants the team to be good.
I would have liked to seen him somewhere else.
Yeah.
I love Mike Evans. I think he is arguably top 5 receiver in the
Definitely,
league.
yes.
I liked him ever since he came out in the draft. I think I said this before. I remember watching video of Johnny Manziel because they're both at Texas A&M.
Uncatchable balls that he was catching.
Yeah, that he was catching, and it was like, oh my God, that receiver's brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's just carried on. I mean, like his record, 1,000 yards receiving in
10 seasons.
9 seasons
straight, 10 seasons.
9 or 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
no, I think, yeah. But yeah, I think it's only fair that Brandon Aiyuk earns more than him. So,
yeah, that sums it up, doesn't it?
should we mention so the NFL need to find some money behind the back of the sofa.
Just a bit.
Jesus.
So they've been found guilty in the NFL Sunday Ticket class action lawsuit. It focused on the allegation that the NFL required DirecTV to overcharge for the Sunday Ticket out-of-market package. So consumers would choose to watch the game served up by CBS and Fox in their markets. Basically, it's a lot of money.
Well, it's a lot of money, and then so it works out to around about 4.8 billion in total. But then because it's an antitrust law in the US, that 4.8 billion gets tripled.
Wow, what?
So the NFL basically owe 14 billion, or over 14 billion.
That's quite a lot of money.
That's
So hang on. So you're telling me that sacking the guys that did around the NFL is going to make the difference?
Yes. I've just googled Dan Hanses' salary, and it's 13.2 billion. So it's
that's a big chunk.
It's helping. It's helping.
And you got to remember that the NFL isn't really a thing.
No, it's a collection.
It's 32 things.
32 things, yeah.
So that means each team's going to have to pay 440 million.
Wow.
Now, to put that into perspective, the Packers are the only team who release any financial figures because they're the only team that have to, because they're not owned by one person, they're owned by public liability. They had on cash at the end of last season around about 580 million.
Which is a lot of money.
Packers are a well-run organisation.
Yeah.
Look at organisations like the Raiders.
Yeah.
They're not going to have 440 million.
No.
Plus everything they have to put into escrow to pay for players.
Yeah.
So something's going to give. So yeah, I mean, it's going to go to appeal. I don't really fancy the NFL's chances, but it will go to appeal.
The thing is, I fancy their chances to get some sort of reduction because they're such a big public employer. They generate so much money.
It's true.
It's a bit like the Premier League here. Like the Premier League here is the dodgiest thing.
But the way it's worked out is effectively they look at how many customers does DirecTV have over this 12-year period, plus how many bars and restaurants would screen the film. Those are undeniable facts. You can't deny that there's 2.4 million customers over 12 years, plus X amount of bars, paying this much money. It's the refund that they're going to... It's not a number that's just dreamed out of nowhere to say, you've got to pay this. It's a number that's rooted in fact.
But what I'm getting at is you can root that number in fact, but if the NFL can argue that, look, if you do this, we're going to lose our ability to pay any of that back because we will lose parts of our franchise system who can't pay it, that's when you tend to get a settlement.
They won't, will they? Because
they won't do, but if they can make it look like
yeah,
they will.
even the rate, all you've got to argue is like, well, whenever a franchise comes up for sale, it's snapped up like that by billionaires. So the Raiders go up for sale. Jeff Bezos will buy it.
Each time the team is sold, it's for a new record.
It's for a new record, yeah. What was the Commanders? It was
I've just got it here.
Fuck me.
1 second.
9 billion. I mean, the Panthers, when David Tepper bought it, was 6.
6, yeah.
And
And that's gone really well. Oh, no, hang on. What? No.
So,
Mate.
according to the figures here, when the Panthers were sold in 2018, it was 2.3 billion. The Broncos in 2022 were 4.6 billion. The Commanders, who admittedly had been bought 20 years earlier for 700 million, were sold for 6.05 billion. The last time the Patriots in the mid-90s,
Yeah.
how much were they? sold for?
£2.50.
Yeah, it wasn't
much.
172 million.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, it's a lot of money, but not much.
Yeah.
The Joneses bought the Cowboys for 140 million, and this was in 1989.
Oh, I mean, and that's literally the Cowboys are the biggest franchise, and sports franchise in the world.
Well, big, yeah. It's a license to print money. Effectively, it's just absolutely mad figures. Apart from the Bears, who were sold in the 1920s for £100.
The next franchise to be sold is likely to be the Seahawks.
Yeah,
because obviously their owner died a couple of years ago. It's in a trust with, I think, his brother and sister. They want rid of it. I think that it's going to go at some point. And they've done a lot to redevelop that franchise from when the guy bought it, the Microsoft guy. And it's likely to go to Jeff Bezos. Yeah, and it will go from, that will probably go into the 10 billion mark.
Yeah, it probably will.
Anyway.
It's such a brand, isn't it, on its own?
It's ridiculous money. So, the NFL are in a bit of spot of bother.
It's going to get to a point, though, where effectively only like 4 people in the world can buy them.
Yeah.
And it's going to end up like the Premier League and end up with potentially national states wanting to get involved.
See, I think that is where the NFL would be like,
they wouldn't want.
I think the US government would draw the line.
Yeah, in all fairness,
fuck off, no.
And again, we're straight into political, but I think the Premier League should have done the same thing. And gone, no, we're not. No.
Well, a stronger government would have.
Absolutely.
But yes. Anyway, so rumour time. We're going back to.
We've talked about this person. We're going
to come back. We're going to come back to him again. Davante Adams. There's some rumours that he might end up going to the Jets, back with Aaron Rodgers, because the Jets scouting department is currently located in 2018. They've gone big on Todd Gurley.
Remember him?
He's still only like 30.
Yeah, he was quite good.
I think if you to go count rushing yards,
he's still in the top 5.
He's still in the top 5 since
in the last
5 years. Or something. Like an absolutely ridiculous time he had. But I personally, for Davante Adams, who I still really like, I still want to watch him. I don't want him at the Jets.
No, I wouldn't wish that upon anyone.
No.
To the point we made earlier, I don't trust how that franchise is run.
Well, we know who's running it as well. If they get Davante Adams, we know who's running it.
I love Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
And I actually think the front office, in terms of the general manager, is good.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a number of franchises. It's the ownership that and all these franchises who have historically bad owners, and I'm thinking the Jets, the Browns, and not historically, but the Panthers at the moment, they all need to look at the Texans and go, look what happened when the owners stopped meddling.
Yeah.
And just let the people who know about football get on doing their football job.
Yeah.
I found the stat you were referring to with Todd Gurley.
Oh, yes.
Most touchdowns since 2017 up to the end of last season. Number 1, Alvin Kamara with 68. Number 2, Todd Gurley with 63. Derrick Henry.
When did Todd Gurley retire? 2020?
2019, 2020. Yeah.
That was that.
He's been retired for 3 seasons at least. Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Melvin Gordon, 55. Remember him?
God.
Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, Zeke, Mike Evans, and Christian McCaffrey rounding out the top 10 with 47. But the point is, Todd Gurley hasn't played for 3 seasons and is still number 2. That's how many touchdowns.
That also goes to how running back by committee is a
changed,
real thing now. Because a number of those running backs you mentioned, Zeke at the time,
they were nailed on
Gurley,
number 1.
Even Melvin Gordon before something came onto the scene. They were the number 1 running back. And they'd have all the carries.
For me, that's the thing that's made fantasy football so hard. You used to be able to go, right, I need a pair of stud number 1 running backs. And now you're like, well, hang on, this guy.
If I've got first pick, it's easy. Otherwise, it's like, okay.
It used to be like the first round used to be probably 7, 8 running backs. Maybe Rob Gronkowski and maybe a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
And then Paul will take a quarterback.
yeah, Paul will take a quarterback. Now it's
Or a
like
kicker.
probably 4, 5 running backs.
It's not
So
even.
I think that you'll probably take 4 or 5 running backs, but you'll look back in the season and then you'll go, why was...
And
why
you'll
did you-
also
why did
be.
you take
I think you'd also
David
be
Johnson?
I think you'd also be considering Justin Jefferson. In the top
This
5.
is the thing. Like, it used to be, it wasn't just that there were 7 or 8 in the first round. It was the
top
first of
5.
7 picks.
Yeah.
yeah. And now you've got a wide receiver at either 1, 2, or 3
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
Every year,
Yeah.
and I blow my tiny mind. I've only just caught up with when we first started. I can't cope. But the running back by committee thing. I mean, if we could reach back into the past and bring a player that we started drafting years ago because we had to, Fozzie Whittaker would be having a field day now. He'd be getting drafted every year because he'd be sharing them carries.
Well, especially as a Panther. He was a Panther for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah,
and the
yeah. Long while.
Panthers do...
Fozzie Whittaker.
they're not particularly good, but nowadays their running backs are getting some yardage,
Who was it that
at
took
least.
Royce Freeman really early once? Because it was Paul.
Yeah.
He lost. What was it? You? Someone lost connection, and it also picked Royce Freeman.
Oh
was-
that wasn't me. No.
It might have been like the 3rd round or something really stupidly.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't.
I think that was Paul.
That
I think it was Paul.
Yeah, he got Royce.
He dropped out.
Big voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
I
even
had
when
him
he
the
wasn't that
following
good,
year.
yeah.
I had him the following year after he had done NAFL, and I thought, oh yeah, this will be his year. And then it wasn't his year. In fact, I'm not sure Royce Freeman's ever had a year.
I don't think he's only a year.
I mean, yeah.
CJ Anderson as a name.
Yeah. Oh, well, Paul will be back next time, I'm hoping, because he's promised us some crime.
Some crimes.
They didn't say crime thing, he just promised
I
crime.
want crime.
So
We want crime on the podcast.
our next one is going to be live from a train we're going to rob.
I was going to say, you don't mean he's currently flashing some old people's home?
No.
Not again.
No, not. I think he's.
Late at night.
I think
Too cold.
the cameras catch him now before he gets there.
British summer is too cold.
Caleb Williams has signed his rookie deal, $39 million.
Caleb? Or
Caleb.
Caleb?
Caleb.
Caleb.
I think
Caleb.
Caleb. I think it is Caleb, isn't it?
Just checking. I don't know. So I might be getting it
It
wrong.
wouldn't be the first name of this podcast we mispronounced for his whole career.
Yeah.
Don't know what you mean.
Mr. Williams signed his rookie deal.
Mr. William.
P-Nice-Sul.
Peanut Seal is a great name. What are you on about?
But JJ McCarthy is considering holding out until he gets his guarantees.
I don't like this.
Well,
I don't like this because they're rookie contracts. You're going to get the money whatever happens.
yeah.
And you're
Also,
a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. Do we see JJ McCarthy starting?
Not
Is it
anymore.
going to end up with
Oh, no,
Darnold?
I would have said before this, if he genuinely holds out, no.
No. Yeah. So,
I think because, let's Sam Darnold, all right, he's got his detractors, but he's got experience in the league and he's on a good team. Who's to say he can't be a number one quarterback?
I kind of like the situation for him as there as well. Like, Kevin O'Connell has shown that he can do some good with some pretty ropey quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Also, you're throwing at the best guy in football.
Exactly.
And some guy who's, if he's, not,
fallen asleep, though.
yeah. So, as well, like Hawkinson's there, I think it's good.
And it's a McVay Shanahan type system,
Yeah.
which he's just spent a year in.
He's just spent a year with Kevin O'Connell's good friends with Shanahan, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that whole tree is all.
Are we
built
expecting McCartney to be any good?
Um,
I mean, realistically, is he not going to be just another Sam Darnold? Are they not going to be the same
I think
player?
it'd be.
I think they're going to be the same player.
Now, I have to take this with a pinch of salt because you hate rookie quarterbacks anyway.
I have a tendency. I'm
do
still
have
dining out on picking Josh Allen. and
Yeah,
stuff.
you do have a tendency
Yeah,
to not
Yeah,
like
I
rookie
agree.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think his ceiling is probably Alex Smith.
So Sam Darnold then.
I think Alex Smith is better than Sam Darnold.
Yes, but,
But
Sam
I think
Darnold's ceiling is the
I
same.
think he's that type of
Yeah.
quarterback. He's come from a system where it was a run-first system. He wasn't asked to do much in Michigan. I think actually he probably has to do a bit more in Minnesota, but he's got some fabulous wide receivers. Fabulous.
The thing is, it's not that I hate. I hate the expectation.
Yeah,
there is
fair.
the team should not be drafting these players and then say go and win us the Super Bowl. They should be drafting them and doing Alex Smith or whoever and sitting them or a Patrick Mahomes. You've seen it work again and again and again. Even with Stroud last year, he wasn't just immediately brilliant, was he?
Not bad on this.
Pretty good.
But what I'm saying is
I see your point.
He grew as the season went on. Players grow.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see quarterbacks just picked and thrown in. Like, we know they're going to be okay. Trevor Lawrence would have benefited from sitting.
I think it depends who you sit behind as well.
Of course, but time is key.
I would absolutely agree with you. I mean, you go back 20 years ago, rookie quarterbacks didn't start.
No.
Because it was foolhardy to expect them to start and win because, the NFL is a big step up from the college
Aaron
game.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Sat behind.
Like,
Brett Favre didn't start in his first season in Atlanta. He got traded. And then sat there as well for a little while. But there's just such I think now there's such, you're right, there's such this media hype around, and it's the NFL's fault because they've hyped up the draft to make it a big event to increase TV ratings and all that. And I think with all that hype, all the, the draft industry that's kicked off with Mel Kiper and mock drafts, and we all get excited about it once the season ends.
You get excited about it once.
Yeah, I know. That just adds on to that excitement to say, oh, finally, we're going to see them in the NFL. We want to see what they're doing. College football gets more, gets much more kind of coverage nowadays. Even we're starting to get more college football coverage in the UK than we ever have. And I just think now, you because of all that hype, it adds pressure to the NFL teams to go, right, we were shit last season. We've got the number 1 pick. We've picked a quarterback. He's the saviour. He needs to start week 1.
It's also the fact that the players are younger. They're coming through younger. Mm-hmm. So they don't have the 3 or 4 years in the college system getting, hit by defenders and throwing footballs in a competitive... Like, you look at the league, Anthony Richardson's still 21.
I think he had 13 games at Florida starting?
Which I don't think...
CJ Stroud's 22. Trey Lance is still only 23 years old.
11
games?
11 starts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, and Trey Lance is the perfect example.
Yeah, very good
That is a
example.
career lost.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they should be mandating, they should be saying, unless you have started, 20 college games, you cannot come in and start in your first season.
You also get CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, and all these.
But they are the anomalies.
They are anomalies. Even Jalen Hurts had half a year, effectively a year behind.
Jalen Hurts had some good playing time. He had a year in Alabama.
Yeah. But he also had time behind Carson.
Yeah, absolutely. Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Started, 3-4 years in Iowa? Got that game experience. I think you look at Bill Parcells' trait for drafting quarterbacks was has to be a 3-year starter, has to be a winner.
Yeah.
And I think there's there's some real validity behind that because I think you're right. I think Trey Lance is a perfect example. It's he wasn't ready. And he sat for a year behind Garoppolo. He still wasn't ready.
No, he needed a minimum of 2 years to
Yeah.
sit. But we said this when he was drafted. He isn't ready. He isn't going to win
It was
anything.
a huge risk. And look, they got lucky because Brock Purdy turns out to be brilliant. And they were able to get rid of him and no one remembers it anymore because Brock Purdy's turned out to be Brock Purdy.
Does that not remind you, by the way, of how the Commanders managed the RG3 and Kirk Cousins? They got lucky because Kirk was there, but they absolutely screwed RG3. That doesn't get talked about enough anymore, by the way.
No,
he should have been a generational player. We should be watching RG3 and Andrew Luck finishing their careers now as Super Bowl winners. And we are not.
I agree with you on Andrew Luck. I think RG3, the way he plays, was always destined to get injured.
Yeah.
But it was the way they managed that injury when it happened.
That was bad.
That made it worse.
Yeah. I mean, I've been a detractor of Jalen Hurts, as you know. I think he actually stepped up quite a lot in the season. He went to Super Bowl and dropped down again last year.
Yeah.
I think that style of play, that running style of play, is just asking to be hurt.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson has had a bad injury history.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's now.
This
is the thing. Yeah. It's in vogue at the moment to have a running quarterback, but 3 or 4 years from now, they'll be back into the pocket because owners will say, I cannot keep throwing money at this.
Cam Newton went from running a lot to only running on game line situations and sat in the pocket. Now, he was a good passer as well. So I think you still have to be a good pocket passer, which is why Anthony Richardson always worries me because he hasn't got that history of being a good pocket passer in the college game.
Yeah,
So he'll be an electric runner, and you'll draft him in fantasy and you'll get a load of points. But A, he's got an injury history now, and B, I don't think he's that great passer.
Yeah, I think fantasy has a lot of things to answer for when it comes to stuff like this. It's a more hype train, basically. Yeah. I think it's an unrealistic measurement.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Absolutely.
And you, because of things like social media and whatever, it's people support personalities now as well, rather than just I'm not a Vikings fan, I'm a Jefferson fan, and if Jefferson ever moves, well, I'll follow the Bears because he's gone to the Bears or something, But yeah. Anyway, we can come back to this. I think we'll get lots of quarterback chat before we start the season.
I'm going to talk about Jimmy Clausen.
Good.
You can do a solo podcast.
No one wants to do that.
So before we go, there's still a lot of free agents available.
Go for it. Go on. Tell me who's out there.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, quarterback.
I expect him to carry on being a free agent until someone gets injured.
What positions do you need at the Patriots?
Are you taking the piss? All of them. Is he asking?
So David Bakhtiari, as a left tackle, is probably waiting until Aaron gives him a call to reunite the band.
32 years old.
Yeah,
that's massive injury history, and on an O-line that's already.
I would take a risk on that though.
Sure.
Haven't they already got Tyron Smith?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they could swap them one in, one out each week.
Yeah.
J.C. Jackson.
Well, I was going to say Xavier Howard, cornerback.
Yeah.
Yes, I would take either of those at the Patriots. Thank you. Don't think it's going to happen with J.C. Jackson.
Justin Simmons.
That is incredible that he is still a free agent.
That's got to be his choice.
Well, I think the safety market's just gone through the floor, hasn't it? Because then you look further down on this list and you've got Eddie Jackson.
Quandre Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. People just don't want to pay for safeties anymore.
Yeah. Yannick Ngakoue.
God, yeah. Good.
So far you haven't named a player that I wouldn't take at the Patriots right now. I mean,
Michael Thomas.
Yes. I mean, yes. Because we are crying out for weapons.
Micah Hyde, another safety who's got a good history, especially in the AFC East as well. I'll definitely take him. Pat Pete, he's still there.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
Done, isn't he? Randall Cobb.
Done. Gone. How does that still classified as a free agent? You should have to be paying teams to get employed.
Well, it's because whilst he's a free agent, whilst Aaron Rodgers is still playing, and he might just get a call up from his mate. Just trying to
Stephon Gilmore.
Adoree Jackson actually was really good. Adoree Jackson was really good for us last year.
Stephon Gilmore, he started to struggle.
Yeah, Adoree Jackson's not even 29 years old yet.
No.
Tell you what, Emmanuel Ogbah, defensive end. That's a solid piece. If you're looking to rotate your defensive line, that's a good piece to have in there.
Yeah, there's some good players there. I'm sure they'll.
Justin Simmons, just shocks me.
Who's the best free agent tight end?
I don't think there really is any.
Wait. We can find this out. Jeff Swain.
Okay, no, I wouldn't necessarily think that's enough.
Or Kenny Yeboah.
Again,
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
Trying to be American. Tyler Croft, Blake Bell, and then it's literally people I've never heard of.
Brilliant.
On the running back market, it's a lot of Cam Akers.
Yeah,
I'll take a risk on that.
Kareem Hunt. No.
Different reason to take the risk.
Yeah. Jet McKinnon. Basically, there's very few of them that are under 30.
Jet McKinnon. Surely the Chiefs will re-sign him.
He's 32.
Surely the Chiefs will re-sign him.
Maybe. But yeah, there's players there, but
I'll tell you what, wide receiver, Hunter Renfrow.
Come on, what are you going to tell me about him?
He's a free agent.
I like him. I thought he was good.
He was decent at the Raiders.
Yeah, he's a bit lightweight.
Because that's never worked for the Patriots in the past.
Yeah, but that's a different team. You know how Gary always says he only looks forward. Remember, you've heard him say that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So looking forward, this season's a write-off anyway, but you're not progressing your team signing a Hunter Renfrow.
No.
Is that a fair comment?
I'd say that's a
You can tread water with Hunter Renfrow.
How about Laquan Treadwell?
No.
Octavius Bryant.
What? Is he still on the list?
Yeah, he's 32 and a half years old.
All right. What's he doing? Sending stuff into the BBC? No. 32. This is Martavius, 32 and a half years of age. He's drawn a snowman.
He's still there. Richie James.
Presumably he popped and now can't stop.
Yeah.
Richie James. Okay.
I was just looking because I was looking for my faves on there. And John Ross has already John Ross has signed with the Eagles. So, someone else who left my Giants and signed for the fucking Eagles, John Ross. They are breaking my fucking heart this year.
Oh, that's going to destroy you when Saquon Barkley scores 3 touchdowns against the Giants in his first game back.
It's going to suck. Sterling Shepard as well. I didn't realise he's still in the league. He's at the Bucks.
He's injured though, isn't he?
Always injured, but
I don't know.
I loved Sterling Shepard. I thought he was so unlucky as a wasted career. You do get the feeling Saquon is going to pee all over the Giants.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be personal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh god,
they are going to be handing him the ball at the 1 yard line every time.
So Sterling Shepard played 15 games last year. How many yards did he get? Receiving yards?
72.
No.
Less.
Oh.
Go on, I don't know.
57.
Wow.
Because you haven't got Darren Waller anymore, has he?
No, I think I don't know if
he's very much retired.
Has he actually retired?
He retired.
His retirement.
Yeah.
So I think we'd announced his retirement before he'd actually announced he'd actually done anything.
You can always play his missus at tight end. She's quite a athletic woman, is she not? Is it not that Kelsey Plum? Is that not who he's?
Ex.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the reasons he's retired. His life's sort of falling apart.
Yeah, it was Kelsey Plum. You're right, and yes, they've broken up.
Oh, okay. Well,
she's got a hell of an arm. I don't know. Have you ever seen her throw a t-shirt into the crowd? It's amazing.
This is not where I thought you were going with that. No, I can't say I have.
She was at I think one of the games, and she throws a t-shirt into the crowd, right into the. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Shocked should I be that a professional athlete has an arm?
Yeah, only married for 1 year, sadly, and now he's releasing music. His latest single, "Who Knew," is a song about Kelsey Plum.
Jim is now showing me the video of her reaching the back of the stands with a t-shirt.
Yeah, really, that's amazing. Like, literally, she's better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Fair, that was a good catch.
That was a good catch as well. Yeah. Brilliant. Sign her up.
Who Knew, Darren Waller's single, received mixed reviews, with some individuals saying the track is of exceptionally poor quality. I've seen the video. It's appalling. But
you have a lot of spare time on your hands, John, I feel.
Well, if you follow the Giants, you sort of have to go into other parts of the NFL to get joy. But yeah. Shall we leave it there?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It's nice.
I've enjoyed that. Not because Gary's not here or Paul, just because I didn't have anything else to do this evening.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's been a really boring off season, but we'll be back.
You'll pick up. I think things are going to get spicy.
Oh, I don't mean the NFL, just my own personal bit in between.
Once the Euros,
there was some tournament on, but nothing really happened. So I don't.
Wimbledon.
I remember watching a game of soccer and falling asleep, but that's because
I remember watching about 4 of them. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been awkward, hasn't it? Because we haven't been able to get together for the games because we're getting older.
Children. What's your excuse?
Life
does get in the way.
Life gets in the way.
I was fucking around the country. Well, not actually doing that.
Yeah,
I was fucking
Tell
off.
us more.
Yeah. I was fucking off to bits around the country. But yeah, no, it's going to be nice to get together. So for the 4 people that listen to this, it's nice to be back.
You're welcome.
There must be more listeners now because they've all moved away from ATN.
Well, we're missing an opportunity. We should be out there with a big marketing campaign.
Yeah, we should.
So. If only we knew someone who knew how to do that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gary, sort it out.
You can
Anyway.
pay for it with that misplaced £400 million your company lost.
Yeah, okay.
Still too soon.
Wasn't 400 million.
It was just resting in his bank account.
Did Gary nick it to buy a new mattress?
And we've come full circle.
We're back.
Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.